What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? Repeat back with you for another Monday night. That means it's time for the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series. Tonight's going to be a whole lot of fun talking about Kentucky, and we're going old school style. That's right, we brought back the legacy track. A whole lot of grip, whole lot of fight, a little bit of looseness, a little bit of tightness. Overall, it's going to be one hell of a night. Thanks very much for coming along, hanging out, chatting up, and looking forward to keeping me and each other company out there, whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or iRock through your favorite Roku streaming device. Whether it's a TV or the brick, welcome along. As you can see, it's going to be cool, calm and collected, 85-degree air temp, 111 track temp. So again, going to be very interesting. I was riding along with a few of the cameras earlier, and this place is grooved out and extremely bumpy. You're going to see a lot of tire wear this evening, and hopefully these guys can do what they got to do and just have one hell of a time. But yeah, again, I am Repeat, and welcome aboard. This is the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series live from Kentucky. Qualifying now underway. Let's go ahead and clear the boards, bring up our scoring pylon, as well as everything else that you're going to need for this evening to keep up with your favorite driver. You can already hear the motors down on track screaming along. How about we keep up with the 43 right now? And I'll tell you, Matt O'Brien, he's been pretty fast since switching from last season to this season. Pretty consistent inside the top 5. And as he comes across the start stripe to lay down his first lap, or to start his first time lap, we'll see how he does. Andrew Wisdom so far up top with the in his number 15. Looks like a 32-37. Looks like Matt Gale's going to be P2, Tom Flitcroft P3, and just to say that, Tom Harmon goes to the top of the boards. Let's see what this 43's got in store. Coming off turn number 4, going to dive all the way down across the apron onto the start stripe, and let's see, Matt O'Brien top of the boards in that focus factor for number 43. Let's go on down just a little bit. How about we pick up with the 30, Ryan McCall, Shaboom Machine, and his Camaro. As you see it, all the way down on the apron, just kind of guiding along until he gets to that blue cone, which is the merge cone, where he can come on up on track. James Holzer, normally driver of the number 17 Race EPI Camaro, says got stuck at work with some end-of-month BS. Good luck, all drivers. And Dark Racer says, I need to miss it again. Man, I hate it for both of you. But Holzer, definitely welcome. You know, if you get in early and you want to join me in the booth, bud, it'd be good to get a pro's perspective. If you'd like. If not, man, I absolutely understand. But just know you are welcome. All right, so looks like the 30's trying to do his thing. As you can see, the front end really hopping, going through turns 3 and 4. Down again, just like we saw the 43 across the start stripe. And it looks like that is going to put Ryan McCall P13. Let's go down a little bit more. How about we pick up with the 2.5, the Ryan Crooks Camaro. Again, it looks like he, just like the 17 of Holzer, have shed the EMGG colors. Now both running different schemes with brand new sponsors. This is Ryan Crooks' get up to speed lap, so this will be his first time lap as he just now came across the start stripe. Looks like Austin Collins in his 00. He's also out there on track. As Ryan Crooks, actually, that was his first time lap. Ryan Crooks in P24 right now. And I just saw Austin Collins as well. Austin went up to, looking for him. Austin Collins is just out there on track. Hasn't put up his first time. But Ryan Crooks, his first lap was 24th. Let's see if second lap is any better. Yes, it is. Actually going to put him up to P number 4. So good lap for the 2.5 of Ryan Crooks. Here's Austin Collins in that Tractor Supply 00. Off of turn number 4. Down all the way down again on the apron, or close to the apron. And looks like no time that lap. So, something must have happened. Frank Winnisett was also just out there as well. Let's see if he brings it back out one more time. So far, looking at 31 drivers this evening, all the way back to Brian Pizzakemi, that's sitting in 29th, has taken time with Matt O'Brien so far on the provisional pole. And Austin Collins and Frank Winniset have yet to take time. Quiet says, sold my ultra wide, got 3 screens, am way happier. Quiet, yeah, I'm saving up for that third screen. I've got 2 32-inch MSI 1000R monitors. I'm waiting for that third one, and then I've got a 42-inch screen right above that. I'll have to show you or send you a picture of my setup sometime in the future. But good to see you out there, buddy. All right, so now we got a 9+ minute warm-up session for everybody to come on out and see what the track conditions are going to be like just before they go green. We saw the 68 of Tom Harmon a little bit ago. He's already pulling out onto track, and he's got the 23 of Jose Ruiz, our Talladega winner, right behind him. Have to see what Jose is going to be capable of this evening as well. Francis Hamilton so far, he's out there. PJ O'Leary out there. Rob Newman has joined these couples. So has Evan Knopp, Joseph Turley, and Kevin Dallator. Nate Mott in that double deuce. John Osborne in his 81. Jacob Palmer in a 39, and others already, trying to see what try to see what they got for this evening. Tell you what, let's actually jump on board with Jose Ruiz and kind of show you exactly what he's doing, what kind of line he's running right now. Oh, a little loose. Hold on to it. Good job. See Ryan McCall right in front of him in that number 30. Jose kind of falling back just a little bit. Going to pick up a little bit of a draft. And look how bumpy these cars are. It's crazy. I was actually just telling Eliza Bethel of Frozen Toes before the stream kicked off. I remember a meme or a GIF from Dale Jr. several years back before they repaved this place, when he was talking about all the bumps and the unfavorable character that this place has. And it was of a bunch of teenagers sitting inside a car going over a really, really bumpy road, and people knocking their heads off the roof of the car and things like that. Yeah, very similar. More and more coming out on track. So far, the 48 of Francis Hamilton, he's going to be the fastest man in town as far as his practice goes. He just put a time of 32:08, 32:07 with about 7 minutes to go. Matt O'Brien in the 43, who is our pole sitter, unless somebody went out later that I didn't catch and dethroned the guy. Joseph Turley, he's sitting on pit road, just kind of waiting, and he's going to go ahead and come on back out as well. Tom Harmon in his Avril Lavigne number 68, he's doing the same thing. Matt Burgess right now sitting in P number 5. Sun setting, track's looking a little golden. That A&W number 12. Nate Mott just now taking over P number 5 in his Sun Drop Double Deuce. Always has a few fans out there in chat that cheer on this guy, and I'm a fan too. He is like one of those real silent go-getters. You got to kind of watch for him all race long, because he will sneak up on you and just start taking spots away. The man he's very, very consistent, and if he doesn't end up with in any kind of an issue of someone else's doing, usually Nate is someone that you can watch for a little bit later on in the race to work his way on up through the field. John Osborne in this number 81 Woody's machine right now, showing about P number 8 with Evan Knopp and Jose Ruiz right behind him. Again, Evan Knopp's also has been another one to show a lot of speed as of late as well. And he's another one that you really have to watch, as the car behind him went on up and just kind of tagged that wall. I believe it's Evan Knopp, John Osborne, and Nate Mon, if I'm not mistaken, right along with Ryan McCall, all part of the Eons team. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about Evan Knopp, though. I'm sure about John Osborne, Nate Mon, and Ryan McCall. Couple kind of practicing pit road entry. Got to lock it down before you get to those yellow cones. If you go speeding in, you will get that black flag, and I believe that's a 40-second penalty, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Brody Falliker up here in this number 1. Good to see him back out on track. Looks like a couple of team cars, nose to tail. That's going to be the 48 of Francis Hamilton. That's still the fastest man in Kentucky so far. And as far as this 10-minute practice goes, though. Your race admins for this evening, again, will be Woody Teasler, as well as Eliza Bethel, Frozen Toast, taking care of any kind of pit road issues and cautions and all that. So big thank you to both of them for probably one of the most thankless jobs in any of these races, any of these communities, clubs, or series. So as I say that, Stratus chimes on in. Howdy. How about Joseph Turley in this 13, bumping up to P number 3 in this practice? So hey, maybe this 13 will start to show a little luck for Joseph and be able to work his way on up through. Just a little over 3 minutes left in this warm-up. Francis Hamilton still on top. Matt O'Brien, Joe Turley, PJ O'Leary, and Tom Harmon. PJ O'Leary, another one that had a little bit of an off week last week, just was not able to catch a break, and really needs to move on up just a little bit if he can. Let me see if I can find some points to share with you right quick. Nope, doesn't look like I do. Okay, I'll definitely try to find some that way next week. I can kind of keep you updated. As far as next week, here is the schedule that we've got after this week. Kentucky. Next week we're going to the Lady in Black. We're going to go to track Too Tough to Tame in Darlington, South Carolina, for 130 laps on the original speedway. A big old egg-shaped oval in, again, Darlington, South Carolina. Should be a lot of fun. And then North Wilkesboro the following week, May 15th. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm waiting on all the details for the layout of the All-Star race, and hopefully Eliza or another admin will get that information out there on Facebook, on Twitter, and everywhere else, and I'll be able to share something with you during next week, or very, very early, at least the morning of the 15th. But yeah, Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, and Gateway will round out race number 14 before we get to Sonoma, and I can't wait to get there. It has been a long time since I've called a race from Sonoma Raceway. All right, so a little over a minute to go. Brody Falliker now able to move his way on up to P number 1. His teammate is, of course, that 48 of Francis Hamilton. So we saw Francis behind the 1 just a little bit ago, probably teaching him maybe a little bit about the line, since this is the legacy track. And so far, so good. All right, less than a minute to go. Who's got any picks out there? Who do y'all have to come on up and grab the W? This is somewhat of an unknown track. I actually had to go on out and buy the track before this race started. and I haven't turned a single lap here, so I have no reference as far as the character of the track. I just know what I saw from the nose camera from a couple of guys while I was working on setting a few things up, so we'll have to see. Let's actually show you the practice as it was before we came over to this 9-minute session. I mentioned that Matt O'Brien was very fast. Well, there you see in that first practice session, Matt O'Brien, Andrew Wisdom, Francis Hamilton, Brendan Book, and Brian Pizzicemi were your top 5. Ryan Crooks Racing says, me too. He had to go and buy the track as well. JCVT11 says, let's go FIWB. Still sitting this one in the 31 car. Missed out in Kentucky. Just got to get racing, boys. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and clear all this out and go ahead and pull up your grid for this evening. And again, Matt O'Brien in that 43, fastest man in town so far, with Andrew Wisdom's going to be P number 2. P3 is going to be Nate Mon in that double do sun drop machine. Ryan Crooks to his outside in the 25. Row 3, Jose Ruiz in that 23 with Tom Harmon, P number 6. P7 is going to be Duncan O'Connor in the deuce with John Honeycutt in the 50 for P number 8. P9 for row 5 is going to be John Osborne in that Woody's machine with Brendan Book, P10. Matt Burgess in the 12 for P11, and the round out row number 6 is going to be the 34 of Jordan McGraw. P13, Evan Knopp in the 63 with PJ O'Leary to his outside in that 2-4. Andrew Sanford in the 37, P15. Matt Gale is going to be 16th. 17th, Ryan McCall in that Shaboom number 30 with Chuck Cody to his outside in the 36th for P18. P19 to start out row 10 is going to be Philip Bridgman in that 18 with Rob Newman in the 33, P20. Jeremy Kramer in the 04 for 21st. 22nd is going to be Kevin Dallatorre in that 92, guy that really surprised me last week. Joseph Turley is going to be 23rd in that 13 with Tom Flitcroft, old Tom Flitty, in the 8 to round out row number 12. Row 13 is going to be Jacob Palmer in the 39 with Francis Hamilton in the 48. Definitely showed a lot of speed right there in that 10-minute warm-up session. Brody Falker in the single one car with Charles Kramer in the 4 to his outside. 29th for row 15 is going to be Brian Pizzicemi in the 78 with Austin Collins in that 00, old buckshot numbers, 30th. And the man in the rear with the gear, talking about the 20 of Frank Winnisett to round out our 31 car field here from Legacy. Again, Legacy, Kentucky, very, very different. Let's go ahead and clear all that out. Let's bring it on over to Barney. He should have the field in view. He's got the green flag up. Hopefully y'all are ready to go. We're going to go ahead and bring everything back up for you that you're going to need throughout the race. Let's go.
Green flag, green flag.
In the restart zone, green flag's up. Let's go. All right, so it looks like Matt O'Brien, he's going to be the first one to come across the start stripe and grab a point for himself. Andrew Wisdom, P2, Nate Mon, P3, Ryan Crooks, P4, and Tom Harmon, P5. Everybody inside the top 4 right where they started, even though on that start it definitely looked like there was going to be a little bit of movement in the very beginning. JCB T11 says, let's go, let's get this. Francis Hamilton and Brody 2. So there you go. Let's kind of go back a little bit further. Back here, see the 50 of John Honeycutt. Right behind him, you see the 5 of Brendan Book and the 23 of Jose Ruiz. They are side by side, but in front of them, it's all single file. But right behind them as well, you see Jordan McGraw down there in the 34. He just had John Osborne in the 81 behind him. But how about this Hornet's Nest behind them? They are still side by side. Looks like a couple cars way in the back, getting a little loose. Not quite sure who that was right there, but definitely more than likely tagged that inside wall. And there is Rob Newman. He's actually going to go ahead and bring it down. I think he's feeling just a little loose, maybe not too happy with everything that's going on. Yeah, Stratus says Newman. I get you, buddy. How about Austin Collins back here in this 00? The man just went to Plaid, running the fastest lap of anybody else in the race so far. Yeah, we're only working lap 4 of 120, but the man knows that he's got to go. He's got to get a little bit of a grip on the field and pull himself on up. Or he might just be biding his time. A little bit of race management. Don't wear down that right front and keep it rolling. All right, back inside the top 10. Looks like P.J. O'Leary and the 81 of John Osborne. They're going to be side by side. There you see right behind them as well, the 37 of Andrew Sanford and the 12 of Matt Burgess. The 30, he's clear low. Not clear low anymore. Thought about maybe taking that inside, but whole hornet's nest behind that 37 right now. Matt O'Brien still leading. The top 4 still have not changed. Tom Harmon still P5. Brendan Book, though, how about this guy in the 5? He's actually working on Tom Harmon to his outside. He is already up 4 spots as he goes ahead and throws it into the corner. This would be to make it 5. Little tight quarters to back to that 68. But yeah, the 5 of Brendan Book on the charge. 5 up 5 after starting 10th. Tom Harmon back to P6. John Honeycutt up 1 spot, sitting in 7th. Jose Ruiz 8th. 9th is going to be Jordan McGraw up 3 spots. And P.J. O'Leary now up 4. The man that has been on the move, though, besides the 00 earlier, how about this one of Brody Falliker? Brody so far up 12 spots. Francis Hamilton, oh, by the way, right behind him in that Team FIWB car, also moving on up through the field, up 10 spots also. So those 2 team cars really on the march. As you can see, the top car is really starting to pull away. 1st through 5th, Matt O'Brien, Andrew Wisdom, Nate Mon, and Ryan Crooks really starting to gap the rest. Brendan Book was able to catch on to that pack, pull himself up, and showing that he's definitely got a contending piece this evening. Tom Harmon, he's a good 1.5 seconds behind these guys right here. And as you can see right behind him, you see the 50 of John Honeycutt as well, and then the 23 of Jose Ruiz right behind him. Looking back from John Honeycutt in his High-Tech Securities Inc. number 50 Team FTR Camaro. But look at that whole hornet's nest a little bit further back. There's just a whole party back here. So everybody behind this W machine, including the 1 and the 48, I think they just really want to try to get on by. A couple spots back behind Francis Hamilton. This is the view that he's got back to that big old pack as the 48 gets around his teammate. Evan Knopp is leading this pack back here. Evan right now down 2 spots, sitting in P15 in his number 63 Chevy Camaro. I tell you what, this field is very, very heavy in the Chevys. Let me actually go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about right quick. I mean, when we're looking at car logos, all right, you can already see all the bow ties, and that's just the top 10. Wait till it scrolls through the rest of the field. Look at that. Bow ties all the way back through 17. Then you see a few blue ovals for the Ford Mustang GTs. Very, very few Toyota Camry TRDs in the field. Very, very heavy on the Chevys. All right, back to our gap, and one hell of a field it is. So far, a lot of these guys absolutely getting single file. Rob Newman getting a notification that he's still on pit road. I'm going to guess he got some damage and just having to repair it. Not 100% sure what happened with him, but still sitting there. Brendan Book continuing to pick spots through the field. We watched where he was able to pull the field in. Well, look at him here. He went from P5 up to P number 3, so getting by a few other guys. See if we can actually show you how his last pass happened. So getting underneath the 25 of Ryan Crooks, getting underneath the 22 of Nate Mon. Not quite the enthusiastic slide job, but still that 5 continues to work his way through the field. Back live. The 43 of Matt O'Brien still up here. Matt's last lap was a 32:59. Brendan Book's last lap was a 32:42, so almost 2 full tenths faster than the leader. And it's what's kind of scary about that, he's in dirty air. So he's still able to pick up a little bit, even though he's got to fight the entrance of the corner with his Camaro. He's continuing to make up time. Go ahead and ride on board with Ryan Crooks right quick. See exactly what he's got going on, what he's trying to do. As you see him trying to dip underneath the 22 to really lay that throttle down. Does he throw it in to turn number 3 here? Yes, he does. So we'll have to try to get underneath and keep that double deuce to his outside. If he's able to clear him, nope, doesn't look like he is. So let's go ahead and bring it on back. Not going to be there either. Just the 22 solidly to his outside. Brendan Book, though, on the charge one more time. Getting on up there with the 15 of Andrew Wisdom side by side. Book is not going to be able to open up the wheel to carry as much speed as he wanted to off the corner. He's going to go ahead and throw it in. This will be a battle for P number 1. It is just a matter of time for Brendan to go on up there and take this lead away. We'll have to see just how wide Matt O'Brien makes that car. But instead of that, the 15, he's going to go ahead and throw it on down. Yes, absolutely, Holzer. I said that a little bit ago. Absolutely welcome to join me in the booth. Definitely good to get a pro's perspective, especially on a track I know close to nothing about, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just let me know. Yeah, Stratus, I was mentioning that earlier. The 48 and the 1 really making up a whole lot of spots. Francis Hamilton, he continues. Once he got by his teammate in the 1, he really started picking up spots. He's absolutely got one hell of a piece in this FIWB Motorsports Camaro. Holter says, appreciate it. Got caught up at work with some end of the month stuff, so I couldn't put it off. Had to be there. I'll be there in a few. Not a problem, James. Not a problem whatsoever. Now that this 48 has really, made his way through the field, you could see that the passes are going to be a little bit more slim pickings. Francis Hamilton's last lap was a 32:32. The leader's last lap was 32:43. Second was a 32:40, 32:25, 32:42, 32:32. So yeah, he continues to charge his way through. The only thing is, and as you can see there's quite a bit of a gap between each of the cars now that he's got to pick up, and now all that is just tire wear. So he's really just got to try to maintain. He's charged his way on through. As Stratus said, he's up 17 spots on the evening so far, cracking the top 10 with PJ O'Leary right behind him. The one of Brody Falconer that was leading the way, he's back here in P number 12. So he's continuing to pick up spots. He's got the second most spots of anybody else in the field at 15. I don't believe, besides the 48, that anybody has any more. The next would be Brian Pizzakemi back here in his number 78. So yeah, absolutely. Stratus says the 00 is the fastest car on track. I really believe that Austin Collins was just trying to save, but he's up 3 spots. He is just too far back. Stratus absolutely needs, I'm sorry, now you got me stuck on your name. Austin Collins just needs for the field to be racked and stacked back up with some kind of a caution if he hopes to make any time, because right now he is way in the back. All right, so let's get back to this battle. Looks like the 43 was able to hold off was able to hold off the charge of the 5, and it looks like the 15 able to get back by the 5 as well. So yeah, we'll have to see. Double O is still a long way off. Long way off. All right, let's go back to about 21st again. A little bit of a battle. 13. He showed a lot of practice, a lot of speed in practice earlier. Right now, so far, Charles Kramer in that number 4 Mustang GT. He is up 7 spots. Brian Pizzakemi right in front of him, just a little bit further up in that 78. He's up 9. Tom Flitcroft in the 8. He's also up 8 spots, as he's got a whole gaggle of cars in front of him that he's got to try to figure out what he's going to do with as he continues to try to work his way through the field. His last lap was a 32:89. Leader's lap was 32:87. So if Flitcroft can get up there, he can run the same times as our leaders. He just needs the track position. So another one, just like the 00 of Austin Collins, he needs a caution as well in order for everybody to get all racked and stacked back up. That way we can get everybody together and see exactly who's got what. 29 laps out of 120, so less than a century to go here from Legacy, Kentucky. It's funny, when I pull up the blimp earlier, and I'll actually go ahead and show you again. They call Kentucky the Bluegrass State, but if you take a look through the blimp, I don't see any bluegrass. I don't see any bluegrass at all. I do see the sun setting. That I absolutely do see, and you can start to see the lights throughout turn 4 starting to crack on. So very soon we will be under complete darkness, and the track will be lit all the way around. This cookie cutter D-shaped oval, just a bit bigger than Richmond or Chicagoland Raceway. Definitely bigger than Richmond, about the same size as Chicago. But yeah, here is Legacy, Kentucky. Bring it on back in again. Again, 8 continuing to try to work his way on through. He's got the 81 of John Osborne right behind him. Matt Gale, Matt Burgess in front of him. He's got Evan Knopp and Andrew Sanford Still your top 10 from 10th on up. Ryan McCall, Francis Hamilton, Jose Ruiz, John Honeycutt, Tom Harmon, Nate Mon, Ryan Crooks, Brendan Book, and Andrew Wisdom. Ahead of Andrew Wisdom, though, it's still been everybody trying to chase down that number 43 of Matt O'Brien. A lot of single file in front of the 50 of John Honeycutt. Jose Ruiz back here as well, and it looks like they are even more, single file behind them. Really nobody all over somebody's bumper just yet. You continue to watch that one, though, of Brody Falliker, just trying to put that Camaro through its paces, trying to make up as many spots as he can. Again, Brody Falliker up 16 spots. Francis Hamilton, his teammate, couple of spots up, still up 17. So again, Team FIWB shows they've come and they've got speed. JCVT11 says 48 is bad fast. Needs some track position, man. Absolutely could not agree more. If we look ahead with this 48, it's a lot of clean track right now. I mean, he might have a little bit going on with the aero off of Jose Ruiz in that 23 Team FTR car right in front of him, but that's about it. He might have to try to find just a little bit different of a line to where he's not getting aero tight if he is, and try to open up that wheel to kind of flatten the curve just a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into the cockpit with the 48 right now. See exactly how this Camaro is handling for him. Very, very, very little wheel input going in. So that tells me that this machine is actually handling very well. Trying to open up the wheel just a little bit coming off. And you can see he's making some gains on the 23 of Ruiz. His last lap was a 33.16. Jose Ruiz 33.42. So absolutely running down the Camaro of Ruiz. The 30 Shaboom machine for Ryan McCall, right behind the 48. Seems like the 48, he's been pulling some cars right along with him, including the 30. There you just saw the one of Brody Falliker down low, as well as the 24 of PJ O'Leary. A little bit of a battle up here. 30 going to go ahead and try to dive underneath the 48. 48 says, you know what, man? You go right ahead. I got you. All right, guys, what do you say we do have a little bit of a crank it up session? We'll jump on board and move around a couple cameras with the one and only Ryan Crooks. Started P4, still sitting P4 in that number 25. If you got any kind of a sound bar or a TV with a good system in it, go ahead and crank it up. Let's spend a couple laps with driver 25 and work our way around. Let's go. All right, there's a couple laps around Legacy, Kentucky with the one and only Ryan Crooks, driver of the 2.5, right now still sitting inside the top 5. He's actually able to move on up to P number 3. Brendan Book up 6 spots now, sitting right now in P4, and Nate Mon falling 2 spots in this double deuce down to P number 5. All right, ladies and gents, so you see out there in the Twitch chat, the one and only James Holzer, the season number 1 champ, now into the booth. Holzer, man, you put it out there that you unfortunately had to miss the race due to some work stuff. Man, we absolutely all get it. You know, family and life first. But Bud, welcome to the booth.
Yeah, we're sitting in the other chair. definitely an interesting feel, but it's a pleasure to be up here to call a race with you. I think this is the first one we've ever done. Yeah, first time I've ever actually been able to talk to you during a race rather than after a race. I mean, last season I believe you chalked up 9 wins, but something in the back of my head is telling me to say 12. But man, you absolutely. No, I think 9 was right.
9. Okay, so yeah, last season, kind of drove away with the championship. You had a stellar season. This season looking pretty good. I believe you got 1 or 2 wins under your belt so far. You switched over to a brand new sponsor in Race EPI. One of the better setup factories, I guess you could say, here within iRacing. You want to talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, Elite Performance Industries is what EPI stands for. It's a setup shop, just like any other setup shop. There are some good ones out there, but Elite Performance Industries is one of the best when it comes to transparency and helping each other out and putting together a great product on the track. So check them out, eliteperformanceindustries.com. If it comes to the truck stuff, Dustin is who you want to talk to, and I help him on adjusting some of the setups for the C class. And then Nick Ottinger builds the B stuff, and Michael Conti builds the A stuff. So when it comes to the eNASCAR stuff, you can't really get a much more stellar group of people. But yeah, so it's been cool having new colors on the car. It's nice to have something different out there, just because I've had the same scheme for the past season and a half. But
yep.
Looking at the racing going on here, Pete, it looks like they've been green the entire run so far. So
yeah,
I knew these guys had it, and it's probably because I'm not on the track. That's why we haven't had any cautions yet.
Nobody knows diving it. Yeah.
It looks like for the majority, it's pretty spread out. Everyone's single foul. I'm just watching on board right now with Andrew Sanford. We're right around P14, going into turn 1 right now. It looks like everyone is preferring to be one groove off the bottom. In my testing that I did, for the majority, as I say that and he runs the bottom, but for the majority, most people have been running one lane up, just because it's easier to carry momentum. If you remember watching some of the older races here, like around 2011, 2012, I think it was right around then when they started racing here. 2013 really comes to mind. They really could spread out just because of the horsepower they had, and you could run 2 or 3 different lanes quite easily. But just like the new Kentucky, if you hop up out of the groove, it's really easy to lose the front tires. So just want to kind of stay right there where you're kind of watching, where Tom's at, where Andrew's at, where J-Mac's at, kind of where everybody's running at. It's it's a really good line, but makes it really hard to pass. So just got to conserve those tires and just hope somebody else in front of you makes a mistake.
Yeah, I was looking at the grip level of the track and all that before the race started, while I was working on some of the cameras and whatnot. And Legacy Kentucky is all kinds of shred. I mean, the grip level here is great, but at the same point, once you wear it down, you're done. I don't think I actually had to purchase the track before I went live this evening, and I have never turned a single lap here. I mean, back in the heat days, yeah, sure, no problem. Although I was never a big fan of Kentucky, just because of the very, very interesting layout that it's got. Turn 2, you're facing that back wall very, very quickly. Meanwhile, turn 3, because of that wide swooping corner, you can really get back on the throttle and carry a whole lot of speed off, but you got to be very careful that you don't do it too quickly. because of the looseness that these cards build a little bit later on. In your mind, Holter, what is the your preferred group? Are you right around with the 63 of Evan Knopp, or are you a little bit higher? You're a little bit lower. What's your take?
Yeah, I'm watching the battle up front right now between Crooks and O'Brien, or not Crooks, Wisdom. I'm sorry, Wisdom and O'Brien. Those two teammates, they're right on each other, and I'm assuming they're just kind of riding in line because it's pretty early in the race and coming up on halfway, so pit stop should be coming soon. But they're running the IDO groove for Legacy Kentucky. I don't have a lot of laps here, especially in this next gen. I only probably have about 20 laps here, but from what I was feeling out, looking at times and stuff, it looked like you wanted to run one groove up on both sides of the track. Clean air in this car does have value, but at the same token, that's just really where you keep all of your momentum. I was experimenting with even shifting down in turns 3 and 4.
Okay.
I'm not sure if any of these guys are doing that or not, especially on the short run. Long run, the right rear might get a little too hot, but from what I noticed, you could pick up a little bit of time from the very exit, like on the straightaway section. Not as much through the corner, but you pick up a lot of speed, on the front stretch. So I don't know if any of these guys are doing that or not, but yeah, they're running the ideal groove for sure.
Okay. Well, I just actually jumped on board the cockpit view with John Honeycutt. He is normally one to go ahead and start shifting when he feels he needs to, right along with the 5 of Brendan Book and a couple of others. So far, going down the backstretch along that Kentucky Speedway sign, I haven't seen or heard any change in the pitch of the motor. Looks like he's really not having to put a whole lot of wheel into it either. So that tells me that Team FTR number
McCall
50
is shifting.
McCall is shifting. Okay, so I'll work my way on up to him. But it looks like the number 50 for John Honeycutt is handling very, very well. Going back to John McCall, which is actually right behind the 50 of Honeycutt, sitting P number 8, up 9 spots so far in his 30. Coming off of turn number 2, down the backstretch, heading into turn 3. Let's see if we hear the difference in tone. Yep, there you go. You hear him kick it down. Good call. Good catch.
Yeah, typically I thought it was going to be more of just a 3 and 4 thing, but it looks like it's working for him in 1 and 2 also. I mean, he's running P8, so it's working for him. I just don't know. I'd be curious to see if he didn't shift 1 lap, just to see, what the difference in time would be.
Yep, he shift back down to 4th again in turns 1 and 2, really trying to hold on to it off of turn number 2. Again, that wall comes up so fast. He's shifting back up to P5. I'm sorry, 5th gear rather. Halfway down the backstretch, again into turns 3 and 4, back down to 4th, and I believe last lap he shifted to 5th gear at just before the start stripe. So it looks like McCall has his marks.
He was actually faster than the leader by over a 10th last lap. So
there you go.
Looks like it is working for him, but this track reminds me a lot of Iowa in a way, just because of the way the corners are, and not only that, just the way the lanes are. The lanes are very distinct here with the seams, just because the track's really worn out. Especially in this next gen, does not like seam crossing. So as you can see here, if you're still on board with him, the way he's driving through the corner, he's maintaining that lane. So that's really helping him prevent from getting loose, because if you cross that seam, it's just not a good time.
Yep, I'm back.
Like right here, he's straddling the street.
Yep.
He's straddling the seam here. I bet you he gets loose. He did get a little loose.
Yep, a little bit. Yep, a little bit.
It can be really bad in this car. You know how it goes sometimes trying to save it. There's just no way you can do it sometimes. It's just take your hand off the wheel and just hope it does something good.
We are we're 2 laps away from halfway, working lap 59 right now. Matt O'Brien's still leading. He has led every single lap so far. Andrew Wisdom still P2. Brendan Book up 7 spots, still P3. Brendan was absolutely charging his way through the field earlier, but I think he's kind of found that sweet spot. But I'll tell you what, Holter, after these guys...
I'm sorry, I zoned out.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying that Brendan Book up 7 spots right now, sitting P3. Oh. He was really working his way through the field earlier. If he decides to do anything with tires, he could really be a force to be reckoned with just a little bit later on.
Yeah, absolutely. From what it's judging at here, I think a short pit is going to be beneficial, just because we've only seen about 8 tenths of fall off. over Ryan McCall's fastest lap. If I go over to Andrew Wisdom, looks like he ran a 32.429. I'm sorry, Matthew O'Brien. His fastest lap was a 32.429. He's currently running. That last lap was a 33.4, so that was his slowest lap of the whole run. But he's running right around 33.2s and 3s, so he is less than 1 second of fall off over 60 laps. And the times really aren't fading off too far, past lap 40 or so. So it may be beneficial for a short pit. Especially if you're 6, 8, 10 seconds back, like Tom Flitcroft, he just pitted there. I think that was the right call for him, just to see if he can make up some time. And the fall off won't be that bad. Especially the first few laps here, from what I've noticed. Really weird, almost backwards of what the next gen car is. It's like very tight the first lap. Like, it's really hard to get the car to turn in 1 and 2. In 3 and 4 too, the first lap. Just until you get that heat in the tire. So you don't want to go out there too hard and get unnecessary temperature in the tires of these cars, because the temperature is what really matters when it comes to how this car handles. You can have a low percentage tire, but if the tire's cool enough, it'll still have a little bit of life left in it.
Yeah, it looks like first round of green flag pit stops is going on. Your teammate from last season, Ryan Crooks, he's come on down pit road. So is the double deuce of Nate Mon and his sun drop machine. He's come on down pit road. Joseph Turley and several others have just decided to go ahead and grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, go ahead and fill it back up, and then come on back out. They're gonna feel like Superman on these brand new tires. Gonna really work their way through the field. But this track is short enough to where you can be lapped in just that. Flickcrop says, "Hey, repeat, go Thomas." Talking about, of course, the one and only. See if I can find him for everybody.
My buddy Tom
Flickcroft. Tom right now. He's sitting in 21st, up 3 spots. Tags the wall just a little bit, just for good measure. Again, back with the AMP and Diet Dew colors. So Tom not quite having the race that he'd like, but hey, he's moving in the right direction. Holzer.
Yeah, but he already pit, so he may be able to gain a few positions here. Didn't really get to see too much of when it was grouped up, so I'm not particularly sure how easy it is to pass here. So it might benefit him, as you can see here, how much his close-up speed is on the 20,
yeah.
Who's actually going to be for position here. I don't think he pit yet for tires. I could be wrong, but you can just see the difference in the close-up. I think he'll be able to reel in a few spots, and depending on how easy or hard it is to pass, he might be able to hold a few people off.
There you go. Ryan McCollum is number 30 Shaboom machine. He's on pit road as well, but still everybody continues to try to chase down the 43 of Matt O'Brien. Andrew Wisdom still second. Brendan Book still holding on to P3. And as you can continue to keep up with your favorite driver out there on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or through iRock TV's Roku channel, you'll definitely appreciate all of y'all coming out, hanging out, chatting up, keeping me and now James Holzer, season #1 champion. Company, definitely appreciate it. JCVT 11 just wants to know who missed pit road. I saw that as well when the double deuce was coming down pit road, but I don't know who that was. They haven't come on back down yet again, but yeah.
Just got word the leader's going to be pitting here this time, Pete.
There you go. So Matt O'Brien, he's got to try to whoa it up and slow it up to make pit road entry speed. Do you by chance happen to recall what pit speed was? I know you
what
got that in the back
here.
Yep.
It should be 50.
50, there we go. So no tire smoke.
Oh, the 15's coming in hot.
Yep, right behind them. And no tire smoke out of either of these guys. So they were trying to be as aggressive as possible, but not overly aggressive. But it didn't matter whether they smoked them or not. The only thing that they would have had to worry about was sliding across the line. Sometimes it will tag you for speeding, but the 43 very easily pulls into his spot. 15 overshot it. He's got to back it up, Holzer. That's going to cause him a little bit of time.
Yeah, I saw that. He had a little bit of an obstruction there from the 24 car that was just finishing his pit stop at the same time he was coming in. But it doesn't look like... Oh, he did lose a good amount of time. I was going to say, I think he's be all right, but he's probably going to be about 3 seconds back. So that's going to make it pretty tough. But you can see Crooks is already coming around O'Brien here, so he's going to be about 2 seconds in front of him, or possibly a little bit more. The 22 of Mon's going by. There's a few other cars that are going by also. Jacob Palmer's passing right here. Another thing that I forgot to touch on too, and I'm sure you touched on earlier in the broadcast, is pit road exit here is highly difficult. I think it ranks right up there with New Hampshire, just with having absolutely zero room to go left or right coming off the pit road. So if you want to do it at good speed, it takes a lot of preciseness.
Well, riding on board with the cockpit shot with the 5 Brendan Book right now, and yeah, very, very tight. You cannot go over that yellow line until you get to that blue cone, which is the blend cone, and yeah, very, very tight corners. Kind of reminded me of the turn coming out of the pits for the 24-hour race at Daytona. That's how tight that was. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very sketchy.
Now, I was talking about that short pitch strategy. You can see Tom's right in front of Brendan right now, so he gained a lot of spots.
Yep. Yes, he did.
And we're coming up here on 50 to go, so it's not a short run to the end, but it's not the run they did the first time either at the same time. So definitely going to have to take care of the tires still, but at the same time, I think you can spend a few laps really trying to fend somebody off, if you really want to.
Right now, it looks like the top 21 are the only cars left on the lead lap. Everybody else 1 or more laps down. We'll have to see how it all shakes out once this round of green flag pit stops is complete. Again, this is the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series live from Legacy, Kentucky. I am the one and only repeat with, of course, Season 1's champ, James Holzer, and it'll be interesting to see how this all fares. Strategist says a little bit of a wreck in turn number 3, possibly had something to do with Rob Newman, but so far, no caution, working lap 72 of 120, so 48 laps remaining. Let's see if we can find out exactly what happened with Rob Newman right now. Looks like he's off in the grass, so let's go ahead and switch it on over to the chase cam. We'll rewind this just a little bit. He tried to get onto pit road and was just way, way too fast, Holzer.
Yeah, for what it looks like, Pete, everybody kept going, so with race control looking at that, it looks like it will not be a caution.
Yeah, he was up in the wall, and he was down in the grass like he wanted to take the access road. Oh, the 78 of Pizzichemi actually tagged the back end of that 33, so that's going to be a lot of damage to both of them, but the 33 mostly. All right, go ahead and bring it back live.
Yeah, it looks like the cycle here is complete. Looks like Ryan Crook's got the lead. Like I said, about 3 seconds, but he's able to put on O'Brien there just by pitting a few laps sooner. Now, I know O'Brien is a little bit faster than Crooks on the long run, but Crooks seems to have some pretty good short run speed. He was almost 0.2 of a second faster than him there. So if he can build up this lead, coming to 45 to go, he can give up a 10th a lap and still be okay. Nathan Mon, I think he was running P6 before that cycle. He's up to 2nd. Matthew O'Brien is 3rd, down 1 spot. Wisdom is down 1 spot in 4th, and Book is down 1 spot in 5th. So Crooks really capitalized, and Flitcroft also. He's up in 8th place from 21st.
How about that?
So it's a great call there on the 8 pit blocks. I'm proud of him.
I mentioned this last week, and I think maybe even the week before that as well. Between Season 1 and Season 2, I have seen a marked improvement in a lot of the guys that were trying to run you down all last season. And one of them was actually your teammate in the 25 of Ryan Crooks. And it seems like between the two, he has absolutely stepped his game up. Last season, he was between, and this isn't any kind of a knock to him whatsoever. He seemed like he was between like a 5th and 10th place car most of the season. You could definitely disagree with me if you want, but that was kind of my call on that. And this season, between running here in Shake and Bake and running in the iRock Challenge Series on Thursday nights and a couple other places, I believe he runs in Velocity, that's broadcasted by KS Gaming 51 and a couple others. This man has just lit the wick on everything that he drives anymore.
Oh yeah, he has absolutely improved a lot just from being a teammate with him last year. It was awesome to see him grow. He's not afraid to ask questions or learn new things, so that contributes a lot to it. A lot of improvement definitely revolves around time in the sim. So, as you know, we all have lives.
Yep.
That's why I unfortunately couldn't make the race today. So, sometimes you just can't get in the seat. But when Crooks is in the seat so far this season, he has been absolutely tearing it up. Atlanta, one of my favorite tracks.
Yep.
I love going to Atlanta. He absolutely walked the dog on me. There was nothing I could have done for him to beat me, and it was pretty impressive. I actually was talking to him after the race, just asking him, "Hey, what were you doing like that I couldn't figure out?" Just because it was really bugging me, and just some things that he was telling me, and I'm like, "Wow, you really picked up a lot." So yeah, Crooks, I would say, is most improved from last year. And once again, like you said, no disregard to anybody on the sim at all, because everybody is improved and everybody improves every day on here. But Crooks, night and day, man, he really made some improvements. And actually, just within the last week, he decided to buy the rest of the season for EPI for the truck sets. So,
wow.
He's been getting some exercise on open racing now, as he's just really wanting to master the fixed craft. And now he's starting to dabble into some opens. And he got blessed with RTP Dover time. So his iRating is high enough that he was making top split races, and we're talking like 6,000 strength of field races. I don't think he really had too good a luck in them, just with getting wrecked and caught up in some stupid stuff, but definitely cool, and that's where you start to learn a lot, is when you get in those really high split races. Because Crooks is, if I do recall, right around a 4,500 iRating.
Yep,
so
46, 32, you're right there. Yep.
Definitely above average when it comes to the iRating spectrum. I believe average is right around, I would say probably around 1,900, 2,000, because you start off at a 1,350. I would say 2,000 to 2,100 is an average, and SMB typically gets around the 26 to 2,700 strength of field. So it's pretty cool to see that we have a above average league, especially when it comes to There are some drivers that are a little bit lower iRating, and then there's some drivers that are a little bit higher iRating. So that's kind of, how that all balances out. But, everybody in here does a really good job, and iRating is just a number anyways. If you don't do officials, you could still be really good. So,
oh, yeah, absolutely.
iRating to an extent has nothing to do with the number. And especially at a track like this where nobody typically goes to, and, we're on lap 81 and we haven't had a caution flag yet, and we still have 20 cars in the lead lap. I mean, there's a lot to be proud of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, there have definitely been a couple of tracks so far this season. Phoenix being one where the racing was just not where it needed to be. But with the administration within this series, this club, they were able to make some changes, and the racing has improved hand over fist. Jaden Sanchez out there in chat over on YouTube says, "Hola." Hola, Jaden. Good race the other night in bump and run. Congratulations one more time. Stratus says, "Now you said it, James. Never say it." So still no caution. I'll say it right there with you. That way you don't feel weird.
Oh, I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, but
all right. Well, I was knocking wood as I said it, Chad.
working lap 83 of 120. So yeah, closing in on the MLB equivalent of a no-hitter. So we'll have to see. Knock on anything you want. No cautions, no cautions, no cautions. Don't stop. And yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Also back to the racing here. It looks like Matt O'Brien's taking over second place from Nathaniel Mon. He is still 2 seconds behind Crooks, though, so time is running out for him to catch. He does still have about 35 laps left, so, he doesn't have to quite click off a 10th a lap to catch him. Let's see. I might be a little ahead of you, Pete, here, so I'm going to see what he's at this lap. It looks like, he was 2.5 tenths faster.
Yeah.
So, looks like he might get there in a hurry.
Yeah, Crook still leading. Matt O'Brien P2. Nate Mon, he started P3. Right now in that double deuce running P number 3. Andrew Wisdom in that number 15. Still P4. Brendan Book in P5. Tom Harmon in that 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro started 6th, running 6th. Tom Flickcroft up 17 spots. Right now, he is the biggest gainer of the race as far as the later stages go. Brody Falliker in that number 1 up 16. Evan Knopp and Ryan McCall also up a few in between those two. But yeah, I tell you, Tom Flickcroft and the support that he's got in out there in chat week in and week out. That's a pretty decent support system, and you got to love it when your parents come out and they absolutely root John in this sim.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got home from work tonight, and for chat that doesn't know, I still live at home, and my mom was like, "Oh, you missed your race tonight, didn't you?" So they're so involved in my sim racing, they know my schedule. So I pretty much have the same schedule every week, just when it comes to league racing and testing for the team and that kind of stuff. So I come home from work, mom's like, "You missed your race, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna go talk in the booth anyways. I'll have fun in my own perspective."
There you go. Yeah, man, I know, and I've said it many, many times, and if you've gone back and you've watched the races, I make sure that it's known because you're the way you put the races together with no practice, literally no practice. You hit the track for qualifying. Usually you do pretty well there for not really practicing, and then you get to that 10-minute warm-up. You do everything that you can to kind of get yourself acclimated to what the track is going to be like in the long term, and then you absolutely start to pour it on in the actual race. So I give you a lot of credit for your first laps that you turn every single week wind up being in the qualifying session. So man, that's just huge props to you. But Holtz, I don't know if you've got the track map up. This entire track is now completely covered by cars just going round and round. All kinds of separation all the way through. Watching the 63 turn underneath the 04. Evan Knopp he's also going to be one of those ones I'd have to add to the list of those that have improved overall since season number 1. Right now sitting at a 5,500 iRating, and he continues to show promise now inside the top 10.
Oh yeah, I've raced with Knopf a lot, and especially in official sessions too, and he has improved a lot. Not to cut you off, Pete, but you definitely want to tune up for the lead here. Crooks and O'Brien are about to go at battle.
Absolutely, can do. Yep, there. Thank you very much. Yeah, 25, he's kind of in that second group, right above that third seam. 43, trying to pull underneath, coming across the start stripe. This is still going to be Ryan Crook's lap with 43, if I'm not mistaken. Holter, he's going to go ahead and throw it into turn number 1 right here. But so far, the 25 kind of trying to keep him pinched down. He's not going to have the momentum coming off. 43 is going to go back to the lead.
Yeah, it was a great pass by O'Brien. He set that up absolutely perfect. Wisdom is still 3.5 back, so that pit road little hiccup definitely cost him. I think he's going to get back to a podium spot, even though there's, coming to 29 to go. But I think he's just been kind of riding around saving his stuff. I think O'Brien pushed up there a little bit. Curious to see. Yeah, Wisdom was 1/10.5 faster that lap, so he's going to have to turn up the pace a little bit more than that. But, I'd be curious to see it, lap over lap, just to see, how that gap closes up. Maybe Wisdom saved his stuff and figured he'd fire off late for him. With the way the fall off is, I wouldn't really think that you can gain that much, but hey, I've seen crazier stuff happen, but I really like the position O'Brien's in. But regardless, I still think Crooks made the right decision. Excuse me, I think he's going to end up second or third at the end of this race. I believe he came in fourth, so I think it's a win-win for him either way.
Yeah, riding on board right now with Andrew Wisdom, looking ahead from his roof cam. He's got the 20 as well as one other right in front of him, but he can see the leaders up there. You can also see the driver in P3, which is the double deuce of Nate Mon. Nate is another one, in practice and in qualifying and in all that. He's another one that showed a lot of improvement from season number 1. I've actually really started to become a bigger fan of Nate through his hard driving every single week. I mentioned in the practice session earlier, if he doesn't get caught up in someone else's problems, usually he's up towards the front week in and week out.
Oh yeah, this year has been a great improvement for Mon. I've raced with him since the Speed Racing Network days, right when I first got on iRacing, a little over 2 years ago.
Okay.
And, it's hard to judge because I was on a totally different level then than I am now. And so is he. So it's really hard to judge where we were at then, just because we were all learning so much. But I really think Nate has really soaked everything in, and this next gen has really been a bread and butter car for him. And he's learned a lot about it, and I think he's excelled in it. I don't know his exact top 5s and top 10s for this season off the top of my head without looking at the chart, but like you said, he's gotten caught up in some misfortunes, but if he doesn't do that, he has really had a great season. I think he's been up in the booth a few times with you.
Yep.
So definitely had a few top 5s this season, and definitely a few more top 10s. So it's kind of what it takes, when it comes to a championship season. Does he have a win this year?
Don't believe so, no.
Okay. Would be good for him to get a win, obviously to lock in, but in his point situation, he is in really good shape right now, top 10 in points. Just needs to keep doing what he's doing, and a few less misfortunes, he might have some really good points going into the playoffs, which is really all playoff racing is. I mean, you could have, 13 wins in the regular season, go to the playoffs and DQ every race, and what you did, in a sense, didn't matter.
I got to tell you, you mentioned the SRN, Sim Racing Network, that broadcasted by the one and only Greg Olenek. Well, Greg has actually stepped away from that. He now actually works full-time in the production truck with NASCAR. So big feather in his cap now. Used to be big racer back in the NNR days on console and all that. Was fantastic in the editing side. So although I doubt he's out there and he may never see this, Greg, congratulations to you and able to being able to pursue the dream of actually working in NASCAR in production after working in an actual TV station in, I believe, the bottom part of North Carolina or northern South Carolina. But yeah, how about that?
Yeah, I think he actually works in the Charlotte area, or worked in the Charlotte area,
sure
news station wise.
Yep.
Yeah, Greg's a great dude. If he is watching, I think I told him congratulations whenever the news came out, but congratulations again. I know that you put on a great show over at SRN. I wasn't racing over there when you did the main broadcasting.
Yep.
Not really sure who's doing it over there now, but yeah, they always had some pretty good races going on. So respect to all those guys over there for putting on a great show, and congrats, like I said, to Greg for actually, going to NASCAR. That's what every kid dreams of.
Right.
Having the opportunities, on the sim, whether it comes to driving or broadcasting or, anything, you can learn any craft, photography, anything, and you can transfer that to real world.
Yeah, of course you can.
And, I mean, you're paying for a subscription, but, in relative cost to actually learning, in real life, having to travel to Charlotte or having to travel to Kentucky, you got all this right in your back seat, and you can do all your editing right on your computer right in front of you. So, it's a good point to learn on there, and you can really make a lot of connections, because there's a lot of great people that are on iRacing. I mean, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. races on here all the time.
Yep.
He's part owner. There's lots of NASCAR drivers that race on here all the time, like Carson Hocevar and Corey Heim, who's actually with EPI. A few other guys and gals are on here all the time. Natalie Decker, I know, races and streams on here a lot.
Yep.
There's a lot of connections. Ryan Vargas. There's a lot of connections you can make in the sim. So, if you do the right things and talk to the right people, for example, to Jake Roel, he also was a part of Speed Racing Network. I don't know if you were around then.
Yep.
He does marketing for NASCAR now. So, he just started that gig this year also. So there's a lot of opportunities in the sim, and I know, like, Shake and Bake's a lot about racing with your friends, and have a good time. And that's why I continue coming back. It's a great vibe, great atmosphere, and we still put on some really good racing, like tonight. I mean, this racing's been awesome, and we're going to get back to that here soon, but kind of going off on a tangent. But, talking to the right people, at the same token, if you talk to the right people, you can really get you can really get far, I guess you should say, in real world, with making the right connections on iRacing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jake Roel, he actually sent a message out in another Discord that I'm part of with the Turn Down for What iRacing series, another series that I broadcast for over on iRock TV through Roku. And yeah, he was able to work out some kind of a deal for tickets at Talladega. Which he gladly, kind of put out there. If anybody was going and wanted to upgrade seats or do something like that, they said give him a call. He's able to work his marketing skills, and hopefully, more than a few people were able to take him up on his tight squeeze right now between the 5 and the 15.
We got to go. I was just on it. We got to go with Crooks. What a save!
Yes,
we got a good battle here going on for third.
Yeah, the 5 was on the bottom side and just about got into the left rear of the 15 of Andrew Wisdom, but smart enough. Go ahead, just back it up a little bit, and just as you said it, yeah, great save, great slide by the 25 of Ryan Crooks. That's going to put him down to P5.
Yeah.
But that is that's nothing that he needs to be ashamed of. Sorry about this,
that was a
ladies and
great
gents.
save. But that kind of was what we were touching on earlier when we were riding on with Andrew Sanford.
Yeah, a little bit
Is it blinking out?
little bit of blinky blink right now. Unfortunately, losing some frames. Hopefully, this comes back here momentarily.
Oh, Wisdom. Oh, okay. He saved it. Wisdom just made a great save. He was slideways out of 4. That was awesome that Brendan didn't run him over, too. I don't know if you guys captured that or not, but that was a great save by Wisdom. And kind of what we were touching on earlier, whenever we were riding along with the 37, about 40 laps or so ago, we were on board. We were talking about the preferred groove to run. When you cross those seams, right when the 25 did, it really throws this next gen sideways. It does not like seam crossing. So Crook's got to watch that seam cross because that's where you really start to get loose.
Absolutely. So Matt O'Brien, now Nate Mon, moved his way on up to P2 in that double deuce. So good job by Nate. 14 laps remaining again here at Legacy, Kentucky. I am right along with the one and only James Holzer, season number 1's champ, back when EMGG was all over the front and the side of your Camaro. Now again racing with Elite Performance Industries, right along with some of the top names in iRacing. Definitely see everybody that's out there on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and iRock TV through your favorite Roku device. Guys and girls, on the bottom side of your screen, the bottom left I should say, you see the iRock TV logo. If you have an iRock TV or a Roku TV or a Roku streaming deck, please go on over to the streamer section, look up that logo. Again, iRock TV. The channel is 100% free. And whether you're watching a POV stream or a club, community, league, podcast, whatever it might be, it's all aired and re-aired in stunning 4K. You don't want to miss it. Again, 100% free, 4K quality racing, 24 hours a day iRacing broadcasts are put out there. Go on over, download the channel, again, absolutely free, and enjoy. So, Holzer, we got 12 laps remaining. This race has been caution-free. Yes, Stratus, I just said caution, but we are caution-free. Bobby Hills Kill says Natty or Natty, not 100% sure. AK13 says go Nate. Yeah, absolutely. Nate Mon in that double deuce, up 1 spot after starting 3rd. Right now, sitting in P2. James, he's trying to catch up. I just think
he is making some gains.
Yep, he's trying.
He's running out of time. The battle for P3 heated up for a little bit. I thought Wisdom was going to be able to make a comeback. A few laps back, Brendan made a great pass through 3 and 4. Kind of almost pulled a little slider. He went down to he kind of pulled a diamond, went to the bottom, and came right up in front of Andrew. It was a great pass. And now he's starting to pull away.
Let's go back and take a look at that pass.
Looks like Bond was about a 10th slower than O'Brien last lap. So looks like O'Brien's just going to have to take it easy here, and he should be able to bring it home. But Book is making some pretty good pace here, so he might actually be able to get the Mon here, depending on what kind of times and what kind of laps he can put together.
Yeah, right.
We're going to be coming to 8 to go here, so it's winding down. This race has gone fast. We just hit the hour mark. Yep. Typically, we're not done until about 5 after 10 after 10, and it's only quarter till 10 Eastern time. So this race is flying by.
Absolutely, riding on board right now with the 5 of Brendan Book. We went back to see exactly how he was able to make that pass on Andrew Wisdom. It looks like it's going to be possibly an issue coming off of turn number 2. 15 gets a little loose, and the 5 just comes off with a bunch of momentum. 15's kind of shaking it back and forth, almost like he was, what you might see if he's like running out of gas. But the 5 dives underneath, grabs a whole bunch of that clean air, pulls back up to his rear bumper, and going into the next sets of corners, just absolutely all over him. Nothing at all that the 15 was able to do to prevent it. The 5 just on rails.
Yeah, another thing to watch here, I think it's going to come into play, is the leader is going to get into some heavy lap traffic. There's about 8 cars up here. They are all single file. They're not really racing right now, but still going to be 8 cars in preferred line. He only has a 1.5-second lead, so a bobble or two, you know, and a checkup or two, it might cost him. So he is just starting to get into this traffic now. Doesn't look like it's hurt him yet, but you know, all it takes is a few slip-ups and a few checkups, and the 22 might be right there on the 43.
I tell you what, this 43, he just passed the 00 of Austin Collins. Austin was showing a whole lot of speed earlier. The 48 not willing to give the bottom line to the 43 whatsoever. Now catching up to the 13. It's going to go ahead and put him a lap down. 13 is Joseph Turley. So that's P18 that he's working on to put a lap down. So you want to talk about a great pace. And you know what? He's doing it in any line that he can get. He's not pushing the issue whatsoever. With 6 laps to go, he's just guiding his way on through all the traffic.
Yeah, he is, and he is coming on the chatter, and the lap cars, or the cars that are about to go lap down, are giving him a lot of room. So a lot of respect handed out there, and typically how it is. Oh, 13's in the wall. That's typically how it goes here in Shake and Bake. Everyone's very respectful towards each other. You can kind of see, hey, I'm a little faster than you, I'll let you go. Is typically how it goes. Here's another lap car. Here is letting Matt go. We're going to be coming here to 6 to go, but looks like Mon did close in that gap a little bit, but he also has to pass all this traffic too. So it's going to be really tough for him to reel in O'Brien here if he puts together some smooth laps.
Yeah, going to go back and check in with Nate Mon. He's now got the 13 to his outside. 13 just really all over the passenger side door. Kind of checking up just a little bit. You even saw a spark or two. Nate's just kind of begging. He's clamoring to be left alone. That way he's got a chance. He doesn't want to get wrecked. He's got a great run going. This has been his Achilles heel. And now the 5 of Brendan Book, he's all over the back end of that double deuce. But good news is, even if he's passed by the 5 of Book, he's still got a little bit of a gap back to the 15. But if this lap traffic keeps coming into play, it could cost him even more. 4 to go.
It could, yeah, coming the 4 to go here. They're side by side here coming to the line. Looks like Book's going to have the edge. If I was the 22, I'd be coming down and side drafting. I'd be doing everything I could here. Looks like the 5 sends it in, and he's going to slide up. Looks like Mon's going to try a crossover move, but the 5 made it stick. Great pass by Brendan. He's showing some good late run speed here.
Yeah, the 5 in the early run, before the first round of green flag pit stops. I mean, he was just on a roll as you're watching the 33 getting really, really loose in front of the 5, not quite able to hold on to it. He's going to be able to keep it high, maybe get out of the throttle a little bit. That way he had more steer in the car. Now the double deuce underneath the 33 as well. Top 3, Matt O'Brien, who has led just about every single lap here this evening, just absolutely putting on a clinic. 2 laps to go. Brendan Book now up 8 spots after charging his way through the field on the first set of tires that he had. Nate Mon started 3rd, running 3rd. Phenomenal night for the double deuce. That is our top 3 as we work our way on up to this 43. This is the white flag lap. This is all just bring it on home. No challenge for Matt O'Brien whatsoever. We're going to move on up to the nose so you can see what he's looking at. He sees no traffic down the backstretch, heading into turns 3 and 4, and it's going to be all 43.
Yep, it's a clear track here. Matthew O'Brien really has no objections here. He's coming through 3 and 4. All he needs is a nice and clean exit. Really smooth off the corner. And here comes Matthew O'Brien taking the checkered flag. He is the winner. P1 Matthew O'Brien. Brendan Book going to bring it home P2. Nathaniel Mon going to bring it home P3 for your final podium spot. Wisdom P4 and Thomas Harmon up to P5. He was able to get past Crooks, getting your final spot in the top 5 there.
There you go. So it's gonna be Ryan Crooks, John Honeycutt, Evan Knopp, Ryan McCall, and Tom Flitcroft. Old Tom Flitty's his parents still out there says don't jinx this race. Absolutely. So everybody going to go ahead and pull on down, get off track. But in the meantime, we're going to bring it on over to Matt O'Brien. We're going to go ahead and clear the boards for him. Matt, if you're listening, it's all yours, buddy. Go on over. Go burn the house down. Getting a little bit of a congratulatory rub from the 50 of John Honeycutt. Here you go. Burn him down.
He's going Dale Earnhardt through the grass here. And I touched on the top 5. We're going to let Matt do his thing. But round out the rest of your top 10. We got Crooks there falling back to P6. John Honeycutt, P7. Evan Knopf up 5 spots, P8. We got Ryan McCall up 8 spots in P9. And Tom Flitcroft with the pit strategy to a top 10, up 14 spots. Like I said, the short pit might work. And lo and behold, it did. So awesome for Tom to get a top 10 there. Jordan McGraw, P11. Brody Fallaker, P12. And he is up 15 spots, so he's the biggest gainer. Andrew Sanford up to 13th, up 2 spots. John Osborne 14th, and PJ O'Leary 15th. Got Jose Ruiz 16th, Matt Burgess 17th, Francis Hamilton P18, Austin Collins 19th, and Joseph Turley rounding out the top 20.
How about Turley? Turley joining a little bit late in the season and absolutely showing that he's been a great addition so far to the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to take a quick little break while we get everybody live into the booth. We will absolutely be right back. Don't nobody go anywhere. It'll just be just be about a minute. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. We're going to start off with driver 3, or third place, rather, the driver of the Double Deuce. And, man, Nate, I mentioned a couple times, not only this week, but in weeks in the past, you have absolutely been turning it up. If you don't get caught up in somebody else's issues, you've really been, getting into your own. And this is just another example of the kind of races that you are absolutely capable of. You started third, finishing third, bottom rung on the podium. Going to be an awesome night for you. Walk us through your race and how was Legacy Kentucky for you? For you this evening.
Yeah, definitely a lot different. I don't know. I feel like I'm never really that good at Kentucky, the current version. I think this is actually my first time running Legacy tonight. Felt pretty good, just a little bumpy out of the corners, definitely didn't have the smoothing down back then. But no, I mean, I just went out there and just tried to run my race. Didn't really force any moves. People were faster on tires. I was just letting them by, not really fighting it. Just trying to run the fastest laps I could on my own, and just like you said, kind of just staying out of anything else that's going on, and hopefully that's not slowing me down and everything. But yeah, I just went out there and tried to run my race, fast laps, lap after lap, to save tires.
Now, you definitely had a few people out there in chat for you. You had Bobby Hills Kills saying Nate, and of course AK13 Go Nate, and definitely had a few people out there rooting you on as always. And it's always great to see friends and family, like we were talking about with the Flitcroft family, who they cheer or they tune in every single week to root on friends or family or whatever. So that's got to be a great feeling knowing that they're out there watching. Next week we head on over to the Lady in Black Darlington race that's going to be very different from here. Mostly a one groove track. You can get low, but you got to be a little careful in these next gen cars. That apron that kind of seems to merge on up to the track just a little bit can absolutely reach out and bite you. How do you prepare for the Lady in Black next week?
I think that's going to be another case just like we see tonight, right? Saving tire and definitely staying out of all the madness. With it, Darlington being a very narrow track. Also really good at chewing your tires too. So, it's be a lot about car control, about, car awareness, just knowing who's around you, needing to back out if you need to. And I think that's going to be my goal, is just getting out of there in one piece.
All right, buddy. Definitely wish you, all the luck next week. In case I don't get a chance to talk to you either before or post race, any quick friends, family, sponsors you want to get out there?
Yeah, absolutely. You brought it up early. It's always great to have family and friends, supporting me, texting me after the race, supporting in chat, supporting the stream as well. So thank you as always to them, family down in Wilmington, friends, fiance up here in Charlotte area. So always great to have them, have my back. It's a good time.
There you go. Congratulations one more time on the bottom rung of the podium. We'll see you again next week, sir. All right, going to pull as soon as the system will let me. Yep, you got it. Going to go ahead and pull the one and only Brendan Book, driver of the 5, on up. And Holzer, I believe you got him.
Yeah, I get the pleasure of interviewing my C Motorsports teammate, Brendan Book. P2 finish here tonight. He started P10, so up 8 spots. Good run to you, Brendan. Talk to me a little bit tonight about what you had to experience over this 120-lap race. Went green all the way, so tire management was a thing. I think track position was a thing, but at the same time, you were able to make up some spots. So talk to me, like I said, about what went on in your race tonight.
Yeah, I think just, first off, good job for everybody out there, going green the whole way. I mean, I don't know if it's because you were there or not. But,
I said the same thing.
But, yeah, I mean, I think track position was key a little bit because that first run, I had bad qualifying effort. I think if I would have qualified maybe top 5, I could have had something from O'Brien because I definitely overdid my tires that first run, and so I kind of fell off there more than I wanted to in that.
Yeah, and I felt like that was your race all the way. Ran a great race and just unfortunately got shuffled out of the podium, but you still got a top 5, so nothing to be too sad about there, although, the race should have been yours. To ask you one thing, I noticed a few people like Tom, he short pitted. He was 21st when he did pit, and he ended up finishing 10th, so he made a lot of gain. Did you consider short pitting O'Brien at all? I know you guys both pit on lap 68. So a little bit past halfway. Did you consider splitting it halfway just to see if you can gain some time? I know Crooks did that and it didn't work out for him, but I think he overdrove his stuff a little. Do you think if you could have got out there and made him push up to you, do you think you could have done anything different there to maybe get the win? Or other than qualifying, I guess I should say, is there anything else you could have done to get the 43 of O'Brien?
Yeah, I think short pitting, definitely would have helped. I planned on pitting, splitting at 50-50, so at lap 60 or completing lap 60. But then honestly, I was just kind of worried about if a caution comes out. I know I've had that happen to me a couple times this season. I didn't want to get trapped down a lap, so I just went with the long game. And was able to get those spots back. I pitted, or the cycle started. I was 3rd, finished second, so it worked out overall. Just one spot short. Sometimes it's gonna happen like that. So can't be perfect every race.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's not always the fastest car that wins the race either. It's just all about sometimes being there at the right place at the right time. Just kind of like last week, you were the fastest car on track, I think short run, long run, all the way around. It just didn't quite work out for you in the end, but nonetheless, still a P2 like you said, nothing to hate on. You were gaining on O'Brien there at the end, just unfortunately ran out of time. But yeah, great finish, and just wanted to ask you too before you leave, is there any friends, family, anybody you want to thank?
Just teammates at C Motorsports. Tom tonight, even though you weren't there, you and then also all the admins, Frozen and Micah and Woody for being race control. They had an easy job tonight, and then I guess you were in the booth, so you and repeat.
Yeah, I got there around halfway, just before halfway. I got caught up at work doing some end of the month stuff, so I was like, "Hey Pete, can I come up and join you in the booth?" It's weird to sit on this side of the chair, but it was nice to knock the dust off and get to watch you guys race. It was a really clean race. Shout out to the admin team for making some great changes. I think 100% fuel, especially at this track, really helped the balance of the car, from what I was testing with anyways. And everybody just did a really good job overall. It says a lot about everybody here to do a race like this at a track that a lot of people never have really been at, and to go caution free. It's just has a lot of testament to the league. So good job on P2, and any thoughts on Darlington next week?
I don't even want to think about Darlington tonight, to be honest. Just hopefully everyone can get some practice, drive smooth and patient. And I mean, it's Darlington, so stuff's gonna happen. If that goes caution free, then I would be shocked. So
I'm with you, but I'm going to turn it back over here to Pete, and he's going to talk to Matthew O'Brien. He's going to drag him over in here, and he's going to talk to the winner.
All right, Matt, it's repeat. Bud, you had that 43 Focus Factor machine up front all night long. You had up until 18th, one or more laps down. Definitely showing that Focus Factor working for you. Man, one hell of a race. It just looked like that 43 was on rails. You put the King's number back in victory lane. Definitely want to congratulate you on that first. But, buddy, walk us through your race. What is it about Legacy Kentucky that just fit you this evening, sir?
Well, it goes back to AFIX. Ran quite a bit of it, and I didn't win because there was always like a Coke driver or something in it. So, but I ran really good there, and I don't know, this fits my driving style or something. And when it said it was like, I told you last week when it was a possibility we were gonna do Old Kentucky. I was really excited if we got it. So.
Yeah, you did. You're right.
So yeah, it was interesting because the fall off, there wasn't a lot of tire fall off, surprisingly. So, that first one, I think everyone was just, we're just gonna pick a pace and we're gonna stick to it, and I just drove what I thought was right, and I thought it was pretty good.
Holter and I were both looking at the grooves that a few were hitting, as well as later on in the run coming across a few that were shifting between fourth and fifth, never any lower. I don't remember if we jumped on board with you or not. Did you find it necessary to shift as well, or was it just fifth gear all the way around?
Fifth gear. You probably burn off the rears in fourth gear. So.
Gotcha. Well, some people were actually a little bit faster by shifting, and it ended up being a pretty good race, making up a little bit of time. But man, so what is it about Legacy Kentucky versus the current configuration, or not configuration, but the current track that made you really look forward to the race? Is it just the abrasiveness, or? I
think it's yeah, I do. I tend to do pretty good at abrasive tracks. I really like Atlanta. I really like Darlington. Like this. Abrasive tracks, but what the setup is, it's just loose enough where it just fits me perfect, my driving style perfectly, where I can just drive through it and not really burn the tires doing it. So, because it slides a lot. This car was sliding a lot, and you just kind of you have to drive through it to be fast. I'm not the best at super loose cars, but like this is like a perfect amount for me.
Buddy, I definitely got to congratulate you again on a W. Next week, we head on over to the Lady in Black track, Too Tough to Tame, whatever you want to call her. What are your expectations looking forward now that you've got a locked spot on the playoffs? What do you think about Darlington?
I love Darlington, so it'll be interesting. For me, Darlington, I like the car to be pretty snug there, but I know how the setup is. It's not going to be that. So we'll see. If it was a little snug, I would want to say I would top 3 or failure. So, but it'll be interesting. It's going to be super slidey. So I don't know.
All right, buddy. Well, again,
Yeah, from what I know, from what I noticed from the updates on the intermediate tracks, Matt, to interrupt you, repeat.
No, you're good.
The setups have tightened up a little bit, so I do think that it will be a little bit tighter. You're still going to battle that right rear slide.
Oh, yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, last year I believe we went 1-2, didn't we?
No, I struggled because it was like stupid loose last season.
Oh, okay. I thought we did for some reason. Last year we had that first lap restart death. When Evan Knopf started in first gear on accident and like wiped out, and it was something. And hopefully we don't have that this year. But yeah, I think the setup will be a little bit tighter. But you know, like I was kind of saying, you know, it's still going to be, you know, maintaining the tires, a lot of the same qualities of tonight's race. But I think that we'll do a good job there. If we.
All right, buddy. Well, again,
it's my favorite track. So.
Congratulations on the W. Again, yeah, next week, Darlington definitely going to be very, very challenging for several. Any quick friends, family, sponsors you want to get out there before we call it a wrap?
Thanks to my teammates, and I definitely helped Andrew out a little bit tonight because he was struggling a bit in practice, and I mean, that first run when me and him were 1 and 2, we basically, I'm like, as long as you're in my draft, they're never gonna get by you. And that's pretty much what we did. And yeah, we played a pretty good teamwork there in the start. So shout out to him. And then then on to next week. So.
There you go. Well, Holzer, man, James, I definitely appreciate you. You know, we go back as well, all the way back to eSpark, back in Xbox days. Fan back then, still a fan. Thank you very much for jumping up into the booth. Sorry that you had to miss the race. It's definitely going to hurt you a little bit in the points, but you got a lock. You're good to go for the playoffs. And the later season is usually where you tend to shine just a little bit better. I'll ask you, what are you looking forward to as far as Darlington and all that goes? Knowing what you know about the sim and the sets and all that, what do you foresee in your crystal ball for the Lady in Black, sir?
I do foresee some good long green flag runs. I do think cautions may breed cautions at a track where it is a very narrow groove, even on the straightaways. As you know, Pete, it's very hard to run side by side, especially in this car at Darlington. So it's going to be a lot about give and take. Looks like there was a lot of it tonight. So hopefully, you know, nobody gets too egregious after having a good race and, you know, takes it easy. But I think we're going to have some good runs. It's going to be a lot about managing the tires. Track position will be huge. Qualifying will be huge. So hopefully my first lap on the sim for the night is a good one and get some good track position. But nonetheless, it's gonna be about managing your stuff and, you know, just picking your battles, because at Darlington you're battling the track more so than you're battling the other competitors. So having the right strategy, having the track position, and holding your tires are all going to be crucial. But really looking forward to it, and I know quite a few people are going to have some cool throwbacks. So it's going to be really cool to see all those cool schemes on the track next week. I'm going to have one also. I have to decide what it's going to be yet. But Justin Brooks Designs is going to be doing that one for me.
Hey,
he's doing my Road to Pro scheme as well. Yeah. So if you're watching this, Justin, by some odd reason, thanks, Justin, for picking up the slack on my schemes. My guy took a little bit of a hiatus as he's finishing with college on finals, as it's that time of the year. So having him do a couple schemes for me. But yeah, gonna have a few laps on the track myself just from doing Road to Pro. But the truck and the next gen are just two total different animals. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how it goes. But nonetheless, looking forward to it, as it is one of my favorite tracks, just, being a driver's track.
There you go. Well, again, thank you very much for stepping up into the booth. Definitely a pleasure, and yeah, I'll extend the invitation anytime you accidentally don't or you can't make it due to work. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, it's really weird being on this side of the seat, but a pleasure being here with you, being able to call out this race. It's been a while, so knock the rust off. Hopefully a little better next time, but like I said, definitely a pleasure being up in the booth with you. And this is the first Monday in the almost 2 years of being in Shake and Bake that I've been caught late on a Monday at work. So just needed to not happen on a Thursday for a Road to Pro race. But
there you go.
Yeah. Appreciate the extension, though. Anytime that I can be up here, I will be more than welcome to join you.
I appreciate you. All right, so guys and girls, that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week. Again, this was the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series presented by iRock TV. Again, one more time, guys and girls, if you have a Roku TV or a Roku streaming deck, go on over to the streamer section where you can download the iRock TV channel. It is 100% free. You don't have to pay anything whatsoever. Just search for the logo that you see on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Download it. And again, it's 24/7 iRacing races, whether it's a POV stream, whether it's a league, club, community, hot dog stand podcast, or any of the other sorts that are there. Feel free, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nothing but racing. Get your crave on when you need it. Again, I am Repeat, and tonight I was joined by the one and only season champ, James Holzer himself. We're going to go ahead and shut this down. We'll see you next week. One more time, same bat channel from the Lady in Black. Have a great evening, all.